Like, I mean, he's performing the hits, he's doing his thing. It's great. You know what I'm saying? The fanfare, everybody was in their bag. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a the good energy. I do think the audio could have been a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? And but I think though I came into this concert with some high expectations because I knew a lot of people that went to that Hershey show and they said, "Oh my God, this was the best Chris Brown concert I've ever been to." So I'm thinking like, "Whoa, that's a tall order." You know what I'm saying? Now I've this is my second time seeing Chris Brown. I went to see him during the Breezy tour. Now, Breezy from 2022, that is my favorite. I'm not gonna say it's the best album. That is my favorite Chris Brown album. You know what I mean? From track one to the end. Like that album, I was totally locked into that album. Like I knew, like even when I went to the concert, I felt like because it was so like that was a different kind of tour because he had dropped the album in June, right, late June, and then he started his tour right away. And I went to a concert in July, so like some of it was like maybe like people didn't know all these songs, whatever. But like I knew these songs, I knew these songs practically word for word, so I'm locked in and he performed so many classics at that concert, like so many. And I swear 2022 we was doing this podcast, so I talked about that concert, bragged about that concert. That concert was amazing, right? And he just did an amazing job. Like one, he's a hell of a performer, right? But then there was a lot of like fan participation. There was a time when he was loud, like when it came to like the older songs, he was allowing people, he was allowing the fan participation to pick what songs. And he did that for like three to five songs he let us pick, you know what I'm saying, what we wanted to hear. And it was just amazing, whatever. And so like I come in with that in my mind. I'm thinking like, oh, this concert is gonna be like that, but maybe better because yeah, he's gonna be performing a lot of these old songs, whatever. So yeah, good concert, good energy, whatever. But I gotta say, this was not the best Chris Brown concert I've ever gone to, right? It's not the best Chris Brown concert I've ever gone to. So it was still really, really good, but it wasn't the best. And it wasn't, I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't what people said it was. You know what I'm saying? Like people said it was the best ever, like, oh my God, whatever. And this is how, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell y'all how, even though the Breezy Bowl concert was great, I'm gonna tell y'all reasons why this concert could have been better, or how this concert could have been better. So first and foremost, right? First and foremost, when I'm a advocate, this I'm gonna be an advocate for this. I realize this now, and I'm gonna probably stick on this opinion for a little bit until I'm proven otherwise. But like, I would much rather go to a concert that's dedicated to a specific album, right? An album concert, as opposed to going to like some type of like, oh, greatest hits type of concert, right? Because and so here's the problem, right? Chris Brown, so as you're hearing the song, he performed 50 songs, right? Or like he performed parts of 50 songs. So I'm gonna get specific here. So he performed 50 songs, but Chris Brown, he literally has an album. He has one album that has over 50 songs. He dropped two albums in a row that had like about 50 songs. So like Chris Brown's catalog, he probably like I'm telling like he has to have the largest catalog of any modern R&B artist. You know what I'm saying? Like probably of any R&B, he has to have the largest catalog. I mean, he has probably a dozen albums, and then like he has some of these like super albums that had 40 tracks on it, 50 tracks on it, high 20s. You know what I mean? So like he has a lot of music, right? So it is hard to kind of pick and choose what to perform, right? So like yes, this concert covered the gamut. Like he was, but I had to say there was no rhyme or reason for why he performed some of these songs, right? So like this is the thing. So this how it could have been better. I wish we could have got longer versions of these songs. So like the concert was going, but then like he was singing songs and then like we would only get the first verse of these songs and it makes sense, right? So like even if he's performing for like 2 hours, right? And you think like, oh, 50 songs. But yeah, if you only perform in the first half of these 50 songs, that is probably going to take up to, that's going to take you up to 2 hours, especially if you got, little intermissions and breaks for wardrobe changes and stuff like that. So like, it could have been better. So instead of it, so because Breezy didn't have any new music, right? Right. And he's been out for 20 years. I think Chris Brown's best bet would have been to do this, right? Instead of making it about like his whole career, 20 years, why not make this an album dedication concert? Why wouldn't this should be a 20-year anniversary of the Chris Brown self-titled debut album? Like his first album is called Chris Brown. This should have been a 20-year anniversary of the Chris Brown album, right? Because we would have got all the like we would have got like longer versions of these songs. We'd have got maybe full tracks, right? But then he would have opened the door for all these oldies because yeah, after he runs through this album, he would still have mad time, but like he would be able to break the album up into pieces, right? And then he would be able to perform all the other bangers that people wanted, like his top bangers. He didn't play his absolute. I don't think he played his absolute best songs, but this should have been a concert dedicating it to his album because I've gone to like anniversary concerts, right? I went to a couple years ago. I went to it was in 2023 actually, I believe. The 2023, 2022. No, it might have been 2022. It was after I seen, yeah, it was the same year. I seen Chris Brown, I seen Blast, and I seen Lupe, I think in the same year. And this was a concert where it was the 15-year anniversary of the Cool. And then Lupe like did a great job. It was a smaller venue, of course, but like Lupe did a great job of like coming out on the stage and like talking to us about the creation of this album. And it was like a celebration of this album. And of course, he played songs from other albums. Like that's so I don't want people to have like a narrow mind to think like, why would we just celebrate one album? Well, it's the 20-year anniversary of his debut, so celebrate that, and then open up the floor for all these other bangers. And then what he could have did was he could have did what like he does in a lot of shows, which is he gives the fans some choice, right? So it would have been fan participation, right? Everybody would have went crazy. Like everybody would have went crazy and voting and having him vote for these songs. Now, I also think like just in general, I think concerts in an arena is a little bit better than stadium concerts because I think your acoustics are just gonna be better when you're like enclosed as opposed to being way out and open. So like this concert could have been better if it was actually a tribute to his debut album, if he would have more and if he would have more fan participation, and if it would have been more focused, right? He could have played longer versions of each of these songs, right? So yes, it was still good. And maybe I should have looked at the set list because I was like, because I did look at the set list afterwards, and I was thinking like, it didn't really make any sense why he performed certain songs when he performed them. Like they would to me, it was no rhyme or reason. So like that is the downside of having a big catalog is trying to if you're trying to make a concert that encompasses your whole career, you might need to perform for 4 hours, bro.